Hello, my name is Greg Stolzer, and I'm doing a brief voiceover for the presentation that I gave at our college and career planning night last week on February 28th. And my presentation is titled Helping Students Discover Career Interest. The process of career planning involves a number of different steps and kind of all flows in together, but ultimately it's about a student learning about themselves, students learning about themselves, things that are important to them, values that they have, the skills that are strengths of theirs, um, and then connecting all of this to careers through research, and then how do I obtain that career either through specific training or college major. And if we were to come up with a high school to-do list, it would really be about exploration and reflection. And the importance of those two cannot be diminished. So, why is career exploration important during high school? Well, a few things to share. One is that certainly more jobs are requiring more education now. If you look at this graph, this reflects the share of jobs by education requirements from 1973 up to a projected 2020 figure. And you can see back in 1973, approximately 72% of jobs required high school education or less. And as we've gone through the years and up to the projections for just a few years from now, approximately 65% of jobs will require some level of college education or maybe a bachelor's degree or beyond. So we went from this 28% figure up to this 65% figure. So certainly more and more jobs are requiring more education. And as you look at the jobs requiring more education, there is some level of insulation from the swings in employment. So if you look at this graph shows the recent recession, significant recession that the United States economy had and its subsequent recovery that's been ongoing now for a number of years. And when you look at the different lines represented here, the blue line represents the employment change for individuals having a bachelor's degree or higher. The orange line here is an associate's degree or some college, and then the green line here is high school or less. So even during the recession, the 2 years or so of recession, there were 187,000 jobs gained for people with a bachelor's degree or higher. And since that time, you look at the growth in jobs, bachelor's degree or higher jobs have gained 8.4 million jobs during the recovery period. Jobs that required an associate's degree, excuse me, or some college gained 3.1 million jobs. And the jobs that only required high school or less only gained 80,000 jobs in the span of the recovery. And look at how many jobs were lost during the recession. 5.6 million jobs were lost. And those jobs, unfortunately, have not come back. So you see just that trend of more education needed in today's marketplace. And that's reflected in income growth as well, as this chart here shows. And it's not just college education, but in terms of generating opportunities. But we like to talk about how it's really about skills. What skills do you have? Now, oftentimes the skills are associated with college degrees, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. If you are in a skilled trade, such as an electrician or a construction worker, a factory worker working in today's high-tech factory settings where you're programming machines and you need technical skills, there are job opportunities out there. And as you can see in this graphic, that there are a number of people in these skilled labor jobs that are getting higher age and getting closer to retirement. So skills are really what's critical when we're thinking about employment and opportunities after high school. And of course, more education leads to higher chance for higher income and lower risk of employment, as this graph here shows. As your education attained increases, the job unemployment rate decreases and earnings increase. So certainly reflective of what we're talking about here. Um, it's also, when you think about why is it important for students to explore interests in high school, well, there's certainly been a rapid increase in tuition over the last 30 or 40 years. Um, and that means that you want to get the most bang for your buck when you're paying tuition dollars in college or towards some skill training. And if you look at the increase of tuition as reflected by a percentage since the late 70s, tuition and fees are up over 1,200% during that time. Whereas the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, which is a measure of inflation, is up only 279%. So tuition is definitely far outpacing the increase of inflation. And here's a real concrete example. So in 1992-93, the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, it would cost approximately $7,500 to attend school during that school year. It is what it costs to attend and live on campus. If costs had followed inflation since that time, we'd be talking around $13,000 or so. To attend. But in reality, and this is reflective of other institutions as well, University of Illinois is now priced in the low to mid 30s for students that enrolled this year as freshmen. And of course, this is all means that student debt has increased as well. And more students are taking on debt for that investment in their education. And to some extent, that's fine, but you want to make sure that you're getting that bang for your buck. And exploring in high school helps to answer some more of those questions for kids about career options in areas that are of interest to them. So why is career exploration important during high school? We have the increasing requirements for entry-level jobs. The cost of college and acquiring skills continues to increase. And exploration in high school allows students to enhance their ability to make career-related decisions. So we like for students to explore in high school so that they have a better idea of what they want to pursue in greater depth after they graduate. So once again, we're talking about these two themes of exploration and reflection. So, but let's go into a little more detail about exploring careers in high school. We've got 5 areas for exploration: school, family connection and web resources, community, family student, and college post-secondary training. So if you look at the school-based opportunities, of course, we have classes in our core classes that are graduation requirements and elective offerings that sometimes meet graduation requirements, but are also there for student interest. Clubs and activities that we have here in sports and music, those extracurricular opportunities that kids can explore. So specific to classes, and just recently we were registering the kids for the 2018-19 classes. Those classes chosen are great opportunities to explore areas, of course, and we have a lot of different elective course options here at Downers Grove North. And of course, we have the Technology Center of DuPage, TCD. We have classes in engineering and architecture, anatomy, journalism, intro to teaching, a number of electives. And we really want kids and hopefully families as well to have a good idea of what elective options exist. Cooperative work training is another option. This is a junior, senior elective option. It's a full year course where kids are in class here for all year for a period, and they pair that with a job outside in the community. And our CWT teachers can help kids to get connected with jobs that are closely aligned with interests that they have. So it can really be a beneficial experience for kids to have. Of course, we also encourage kids to talk to teachers about additional opportunities that they may know about, or talk to their counselor about different opportunities. It's good to kind of cultivate those relationships and to let teachers and staff here know what your interests are so that ideas and things that we learn about can be shared with kids. And then, of course, we want kids to reflect on experiences as well. What did a student like or not like about a class? What did they do well in? What did they struggle with? How did they adapt and change? How did they grow from struggles? Having that opportunity for reflection is really important in the understanding of oneself. For clubs and activities, of course, there are opportunities to pursue interest, and we have a number of different activities that kids can do. Um, they can pursue interest and enhance skills with these opportunities. And we have a number of options, including the examples that we have listed here. For sports and music, these are great options to consider for pursuing interest and enhancing skills. And these are transferable skills, skills dealing with leadership and working in a group, working with people that are different from you, and diverse groups of people coming together for a shared goal. These are all important skills as students move on to career training and employment. With Family Connection, this is a web-based resource, college and career resource that is on our DGM homepage. All students have access to this through a unique login that they have, and we encourage kids to share this login with parents so that it's a family resource and not just a student account and a student resource. The Family Connection website can be accessed through our homepage by just scrolling over Student Support Services, and you'll see Family Connection pop up there. There are a number of different activities that kids can do within Family Connection to help generate different ideas on careers, as well as the college side of things in exploring college interest. But I'll give you a few examples here. The Career Interest Profiler, this is a 180 question survey where kids are matching their interest with different careers. And after they answer that survey, they are then given a list of occupations that come close to matching their interest. The Career Cluster Finder matches students with 16 different career cluster areas. So that's a good tool for kids to use. The Strengths Explorer, the Do What You Are. These are gone into greater detail in their summary on a separate PDF that is included on our webpage. And that was a handout at my presentation on February 28th. Here's some other things that we cover as well on that handout. But basically, the Family Connection is a good resource for students to use as they're learning more about themselves and exploring ideas and pathways for the future. The Occupational Outlook Handbook is another good resource. This is a government website that allows people to do occupational searches, and you can learn a lot more about different occupations that you have an interest in. So as an example, if you're interested in being an accountant, you can type in accountant into this website, and you'll get information on job trends, skills that are important for that, what requirements or credentials are needed to become an accountant. A lot of good information can be found on the Occupational Outlook Handbook website. There are community-based opportunities for kids as well. And with these, we're talking about career interviews and job shadowing, volunteering, career camps, employment. Career interviews are a great way to learn more about a job and what it's really like. We always encourage kids and families to ask, think about, are there relatives or friends of the family that are in, maybe parents of friends that are in different career areas. And so those are great opportunities to kind of network and find out who might be in a career that you're interested in. And when you're talking to people in these careers, you can ask them, what's a typical day like? What do you like or dislike? What are the credentials? How did you get to that career? People are always, I have found, willing to talk about their experiences. Job shadowing is another one, and this is when you actually get to see what a job is like. Same kinds of things. Network with the people that you know for suggestions, and to kind of find out if there are people that you do know or who the family knows that are in different jobs that you could maybe talk to them about shadowing them for a day. Questions can be similar to career interview, where you're really getting to see things or understand why a person went into a field, and what a job is like. And then you also get to see things in action. Volunteering, that's a great way to get experience as well. So if you're interested in, for example, being a teacher in as a college major and a career, well, there's lots of opportunities to get connected with your old elementary school, possibly to tutor kids, or maybe it's tutoring neighborhood kids, or looking at the library for opportunities. But volunteering can be a great way to get experience in career areas as well. Careers camps and experiences, these can be locally based, or maybe they're on a college campus in the region here. But these are opportunities for kids to get greater in-depth experience. And I list a couple of examples here. But if a student has a career area that is of interest and they've started to do research and they're intrigued by it, and they're getting good experiences, a summer camp or a career camp could be a really neat experience for a student to get a greater understanding of a career area. And of course, employment, if you can get paid for doing something that is related to a career that you're interested in, that's a great opportunity as well. I mentioned our CWT class earlier in this presentation, and certainly we have some students that are in that CWT class that are getting paid, and they're in a job that's related to a future career that they're interested in. So that's definitely a win-win situation. And of course, the resources that are contained within the family and the student. So, thinking about the family's network of relatives and friends for job shadowing, career interviews, it's important for parents and close loved ones in a student's life to encourage reflection and to make this a regular activity. And for the student, of course, has plenty of ownership in this as well. And so a student really should be doing these things and managing these, being reflective and taking advantage of opportunities to explore career um, experiences that they can have in high school that are beneficial to their career exploration. And then with colleges and post-secondary training, of course, things continue after you graduate. You still are learning and hopefully getting even greater depth of experiences in areas that are of interest to them. So if you're in college and you have an identified major that's related to a career, are there internships that you can be a part of? Are there ways that where I can learn more about it? So it's summer camps as a high schooler, but then as you move on to college, are there opportunities there um, to continue to pursue the credentials that you need for a job and to get greater depth of experience to see if I indeed want to continue to pursue this career. And I have things listed here: college major and professional associations, internships, cooperative work experiences that students can continue to get in college, not just get these in high school, but are there opportunities in college then? And there will be a lot of uh, opportunities to continue to learn more about careers. And in general, if there's kind of a real simple graph that as a student's age increases, so as a student gets older, the depth of career experience should be increasing as well. So as a preschooler, you might have seen community helpers and jobs in the community: a police officer, a firefighter, teachers, librarian, nurses, things like that, doctors that might have come into a preschool or kindergarten classroom to talk about what they do. Well, as a student gets older, we want students to be getting much greater experience. So maybe it's a job shadowing, or it's a career summer camp, or it's a volunteer opportunity, or it's a job that is connected with a career that I want. So as a student's age increases, we should hopefully be giving them more opportunities, and hopefully they should be pursuing, as students, more opportunities for greater depth and more hands-on activities. So trends with career job markets, change and the need for flexibility, that's always there. Today's employees need to be flexible, and that's an important thing to keep in mind because we might very well have several different jobs or careers as we move through our 35, 45 years of employment. So we have that emphasis on skills and credentials. Soft skills are really important as well. So the ability to work in a team and your interpersonal skills, your interpersonal effectiveness, communication skills, work ethic, those kinds of things combined with hard skills are so critical for successful employment in the marketplace today. Conclusion number one, marketable skills combined with strong interpersonal abilities are critical to increasing employment opportunities. And number two, when students have direct hands on career experiences during high school, their ability to make career related decisions is enhanced. And there's no doubt about that. And that's what we want to see kids doing in high school, is having those in depth experiences. Well, thank you for listening. And if you have questions, certainly don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you.